When the words coming out of your mouth are true and you believe what you're saying, that's authenticity. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to I Am Nineveh. I actually contemplated changing the name again, but no way. I Am is all about showing up as your most authentic self, whatever that may be. And I love to talk about a variety of topics. If you know my background and a little bit about me, I feel like I've lived 9 different lives in a way. I'm always changing who I am, and what I do does not define me, although it is a part of my skill set. And so, I was an esthetician and makeup artist. I was a broadcaster for over 10 years, which is why I sound like this sometimes. I still slip into my broadcast voice. I know, I have a tendency to do it. It's like automatic. And then I spent the next decade in business, and now I own a business, multiple businesses, and it's a lot of fun. I'm also a mother. I'm a wife. It's all these labels that we give ourselves, and most importantly, I am Nineveh. And I like to build an identity based on certain characteristics that I strive to embody. I think that's really, really important. It was many, many years ago that I had written a blog about, who am I? Where am I from? And where do I belong? I think it was actually a news story that I did. You can YouTube it. And it was, I ended up doing like a DNA test. And I think we all strive to discover who we are. And how we arrive at that answer is a lifelong journey. Y'all, I didn't even know I was going to spend 2 minutes talking about that. I just wanted to welcome you to the show. All right, so we are going to talk about money and how everybody wants to make more money. Can we all agree on that, at least? I don't need to ask you why you want to make more money or what you're going to use more money for, but we're just going to talk about, a lot of people want to make more money. But we can't make more money without adding more value. And that's actually what I want to talk about, is value. What is this concept? What does it mean to add more value? That's what I'm going to dive into. I know you thought I was going to talk about just how to make more money. Money is all about the value that we add and the impact that we have. And I remember back in the day when I was first embarking on my personal development journey, and I would hear this statement, want to make more money? Just add more value. Want to make more money? Just add more value. And it would annoy me. So if you're annoyed with me right now, I completely understand, because you're like, I don't get what that means. And it took me a long time to understand, what does that mean? I don't understand what that means. Like, no, just tell me the formula on how to make more money. Like, I don't understand this nonsense about you just add more value. Because at a high level, it was just so chunked up for me. It was so high level, I couldn't really just chunk it down just a little bit more for me. Meaning, like, explain to me what you mean by adding more value. Like, how can I apply this to my life? And that is what I'm going to do for you today, guys. That is my hope. Because nothing would drive me more crazy than a motivational guru saying, want to make more money? Add more value. And I was like, okay, I don't know why I gave them like a Texas accent, a motivational speaker with a Southern drawl. I don't know where that came from, but listen to me. It would really frustrate me because I didn't understand what this individual or individuals that were preaching at me meant when they said to add more value. I'm like, I think I'm adding value. I don't understand. How much more value could I add? Because I thought of the term more as in I need to work more, I need to work harder, I need to work more hours, and I want to reframe you. So that is not what I mean at all. More implies, though, the word more implies there must be an addition. There must be an add-on in order to create the more of that you're after. Like, I want more sex. Just kidding, right? Not kidding. I want more sex. I want more love. I want more, and I say sex, more sex in my marriage, more love. I want more peace. There's a lot of things that we want more of in our life. I want more money. Cool. But when you're saying that you want an addition of, how are you going to get more of that, right? Well, it involves value. It comes down to the word value. So I could give you, as like a business owner, all the pricing strategies in the world, and that is what I do with clients that I take on. We go over pricing strategies. And as a business owner, I've worked on a lot of pricing strategies in theory that would double your revenue or even 10x your revenue over time once implemented, because there's a lot to implementing a pricing strategy. But number one, can you actually charge more? That's the question that's got to be answered. Can you actually charge more? And that question will be answered by two people, yourself and your potential customer. Yourself, which has to do with your mindset around money, your beliefs around money, and how much people would actually be willing to pay, because you've got certain ideas and beliefs about how much you could charge. And it's based on your mindset about money and then what your self-worth is. But I'm going to help you break that down so you don't get stuck up in your head about it either. And then number two is your potential customer. Like, can you actually charge more? Well, let's see. Would somebody actually pay you more? There's your answer. Do you believe that what you have to offer is worth more than what you are currently charging? One of the fastest ways to overcome a negative belief around whether you are deserving is really simple, I think. Add more value. Add more value to your product or service. So what do I mean by that? Add something tangible. Add something tangible to your product or your service that is going to justify that price increase. So what you can do is your market research. What are your competitors charging? You ever curious about that? So start doing some research. Start gathering what we call pixels. Start gathering data. Data is just information, and information is going to help you formulate a better answer for yourself instead of going, what's my money mindset? Well, okay, let's change your money mindset. Let's add more value by adding something tangible to your product or service that's going to justify that price increase that you have in mind. Let's do some market research. What are your competitors charging? If they're charging more than you, what are they doing differently? That's a very important distinction to make. Make note of that. Are they delivering better customer service? Are they delivering better results? People care about how they feel, right? So that's where customer service and customer care comes in. And people definitely care about their results, right? So service and results. So are your competitors delivering better results? Do they? And why is that? If they are delivering better results, like at Superhuman in our fitness program, we deliver better results than anybody else in the marketplace. Why is that? Well, there's a multitude of factors of why, but I'd like to believe, and I know that we have the best nutrition and fitness coaches in the industry right now. Why? Because a multitude of reasons too. We are willing to treat them better and pay them better than anybody else in the market. Everybody else has scarcity mindset. We win on our abundant mindset. So are they getting better results? Back to that before I went off on a tangent. Do they have more feature add-ons than you do? So when it comes to a product like the SaaS space, maybe your competitors have feature add-ons that you don't. Maybe they have technology that you don't. Number two, which we talked about, is your potential customer. Is your potential customer willing to pay the new price? And the market will tell you. What do I mean by that? If the answer is no, perhaps you need to change your customer avatar. It may be time to rethink who your buyer persona is, or maybe actually get clear on who your buyer is, your buyer persona. Who is it that you actually want to service? Because you can't service everyone. This is very similar to some of the conversations that I've had with you, like my last EP about relatability. Like if you're trying to be relatable to everyone in business, right? You've got a product or service and you're throwing spaghetti on the wall. You're like, I'll try to hit up that person, whoever will say yes, they'll be my customer. When we run the business like that, it becomes problematic because you end up with a business that you don't like. So I think a lot of your time should be spent on who do I want to service? Who do I enjoy servicing? Who do I believe that I can have an impact on? And where's the win-win, right? So it may be time to rethink your buyer persona. Like, who is it that you want to service? For example, at Superhuman, we service a wide range of customers, but there's a but in there. Mostly we are zeroed in on targeting entrepreneurs, high achievers, high performers, corporate ladder climbers. And what are they willing to pay? What are they willing to pay will be very different than, let's say, a stay-at-home mom would be willing to pay. And I know that's a generalization, but we're talking business here, so hear me out. We are talking business. The reason why these two personas, if we break them down, you've got the persona of the entrepreneurial female or male, let's just say, or the stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad in today's case. But you know where I'm going with this, right? It's a certain persona that we're talking about here. The reason why these two personas have different price points, okay, is because they value different things. And socioeconomically, they're also in different places. If you're targeting a stay-at-home mom, she may not have access to the type of capital, most likely, again, a generalization, but oftentimes true, she will not have access to the kind of capital that a female entrepreneur or a corporate executive who's a female would. It's just the truth. Okay, what about the stay-at-home mom who's got a really, really rich husband? Let's just say they're doing really well socioeconomically. Here you go. The high-performing, high-achieving female who's an entrepreneur or a corporate executive, right? We're talking about buyer personas. They not only have access to capital, but they're also the decision maker because they make money. They ain't asking their partner or their husband for permission. It's that simple. I don't ask my husband for permission because I am also a financial provider. Makes sense? Especially not when it comes to like a fitness program. Stay-at-home mom may have access to the same capital, you would argue, but what's the differentiator is that she'll most likely need to ask for permission. There may be outliers, but I'm going to make the generalization for the purposes of this topic. Okay, so the high performer values what? They value efficiency. They're not interested in DIY because they value their time. They're busy working professionals. They have a strong desire to get to the end result faster. And they inherently know something that is customized to them specifically will get them there. Did I say faster? Yeah. They also know the value of investing in themselves. They understand the ROI of that, or they wouldn't be where they're at in life. They have invested in themselves already to get to those levels in terms of like an executive in a corporation or a successful entrepreneur in terms of monetary success. Their expectations, though, of the product or service will be very different if they are paying thousands of dollars than the expectations of a product or service that is charging less than $100, for example, okay? So if you're a potential customer, if your potential customer, is willing to pay the new price, and the answer is yes, then you've added enough value and you are servicing at that level, right? So that's what you have to ask yourself. Like, if I'm going to charge X. Thanks for tuning into my show. As the co-owner and COO of Superhuman, I want to invite you to learn more about how we help high-achieving men and women just like you become top performers in their bodies and minds. Book a free call with my team. Go to superhuman.com to get on our schedule now. Am I going to be able to service at that level? Right? So that's what I mean when I say value. A lot of people think that in order to compete, they must compete on price. We're not competing on price, guys. That's not the case. The price is just a reflection of the value of what you're delivering to your customer. So when we talk about value, adding more value requires us to what? Create more. We must create a new offer. We must create an addition to an existing offer. Creation of something, a service or product, is how you add more value. So I'm going to create a service or I'm going to create a product to add value. And if I want to increase of that product or service, I must add on to the existing offer to, yeah, you get where I'm going with this, right? So it's certainly not enough to believe, that you're worth charging X dollars. That's not enough, guys. Okay, you can have all the mindset in the world around, I believe that I am worth to charge this. Someone can come to me, even employee, let's say, hey, I want a raise. And this has happened to me multiple times during my tenure as a leader, over 10 years now. Two types of people. And this is just a matter of being taught. So if you've done this approach before, it's okay. I'm not like putting you down. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. This is very common, and I want to bring it to your attention. Employees will say, I want a raise because I need to pay my bills, or I need more money and you should pay me more because I need a babysitter. I hear this from women a lot, or I need a housekeeper. I need to Wait a minute here. So your personal expenses have increased, so that's a justification for a pay raise? It's the worst argument you can actually make. And what you're doing when you're doing that is you're trying to gain those sympathy points, and I get it. I know the world has taught you, and it's taught all of us, that we're entitled to more pay because of our gender or the gender role that we have. And while I completely support women in the workforce, and I do my personal best, literally, to be mindful of people's lives, especially women's lives, outside of working hours. I know what it's like. I'm a mother. I have literally faced all of this head on my own, and it has not been easy. It's not always been fun, but I've had to make decisions. I've had to make choices. The better approach to making more money in the workplace is no different than the advice that I'd give to a business owner, honestly. I'd say, how do you plan on adding more value? Let's talk about that. I didn't say work more. I didn't say work more hours. How will you add more value during the hours that you have to work? Value is what? Value is all about up-leveling the tasks you're executing on. Okay, so you've got to look at the tasks that you're doing now. And I want you to put them in a bucket. What do you do in your day-to-day role? What kind of tasks are these? And have an honest conversation. How much would you pay someone an hour to do that task? Right? And so the better way, by the way, as an employee is like, you know what? The decision that I made when I was earning money as a corporate executive or working at a corporation as an employee was, all right, I really need to make more money because I've got to pay a nanny now. And then I also need to get a housekeeper because I need to expand my access to time. So should I go to my employer and ask for the stipend, or should I just invest in that, increase my capacity to perform, and start dissecting what it is that I'm working now and up-level those tasks, and then go ask for a raise? What do you think is a more powerful position to be in? One is coming from a place of I need and I need you, and that puts you it doesn't put you in an empowering position in the workplace. It puts you in the position of the employer having the ability to make you continuously chase the carrot. And I don't like anyone to chase a carrot. I really don't like that. That's not my mentality as a leader. I don't want you to have to chase any carrot. I don't like this terminology about golden handcuffs. I think that's just absolutely crap. It is crap when executives are sitting and talking about, oh, let's do those golden handcuffs. I don't want to handcuff anybody. I want to do the opposite. I want to do the opposite of handcuff you. But I want you just to say, because you love the culture, because you feel appreciated and valued, and you're growing as an individual outside in your personal life and in the workforce. I don't need to put no handcuffs on you. That's ridiculous. So value is what? All about up-leveling the tasks that you're executing on. So as an employee, let's get back to that. Okay, so you've got to look at the tasks that you're doing right now, and you ask yourself, what tasks would add more value in this company? How can I take my existing work, my existing tasks, and actually train somebody else to do them? That's a leader, by the way. Or better yet, even automate through technology. That's a leader, by the way. So I can take on tasks that will add even more value? You know, people don't usually get a raise or a significant raise unless it's incremental. And the reason why the raise is incremental is because people are doing the same tasks, same pay. That's how I feel about it. Same task, same pay, same role, same title, same pay. It's the same. It's got to be the same. Why should I give you a raise? How are you adding more value? Your raises will just be adjusted to the economics of today. Your raises will just be adjusted to make up for inflation, which is about 2 to 3% annually. Okay, we'll just put it that way. So what you will need to do is demonstrate through action how you plan to add more value. Don't even tell me what the plan is. I don't want to know your plan to add more value. Just do it. It's like I got people showing me presentations. This is what I plan to do. All right, just do it. I don't need to see your plan. I just need you to do it. So you can double your revenue. You can double your pay by adding more value, right? And the advice for an employee would be to study someone who has done it and model them. And see, a lot of times it's like you're not even willing to do what you're supposed to do. It's like, no, I just want to make more money because it's expensive to live. It's not the way the world works. So it's like you want to study someone who's where you want to go, and then you want to model them. And my advice would be to invest in yourself and improve your skill set, especially your verbal and your communication skills. Those hard skills can be learned and taught through certifications. Your ability to execute, to be productive. Productivity is a soft skill. Verbal communication is a soft skill. Written communication is a soft skill. Work on your soft skills, not just your hard skills. A lot of people are too focused on their hard skills. Find anyone to execute on a hard skill. Soft skills will pay you more. Now, there's people I've met who only have soft skills and no hard skills, and that's just a good talker. Don't like people like that either. So I don't personally think it's just on the employer to help you up-level your skill set. I think and I know through experience that the more that you bet on yourself, the more it's going to pay off. You can't go wrong. The reason why you're stuck is because you're only making incremental investments in yourself. Incremental investments equals incremental growth. You want to go for a quantum leap, you're going to need to make an investment in yourself that is highly uncomfortable. So the secret, it's not even a secret. We like to use that terminology. The key, that's a better word, not a secret. Not a secret anymore, is it? The key to a very high level, at a very high level, the key to making more money is to add more value, okay? And like I said, a lot of the motivational gurus will just go around saying, want to make more money, add more value. But what does it mean to add more value? And I hope we've dissected this enough today. I didn't get into like specifics because I don't know what your product or service is. I don't know what your role is at your company, but you are free to DM me. Hey, this is my role right now inside of a company. This is what I do. What do you suggest in terms of how would I add more value? Because it's something you can be coached on. It's something you can be guided on. How would I up-level my skills, right? So an employee would just take all the things that you're doing now, put them in a bucket. What can be automated or what can somebody else be trained on? Get to work on doing that. Have another bucket list. What tasks do I actually want to get to or am I avoiding that would actually up-level me in the company, but that I'm not doing and I should be doing? Focus on doing those uncomfortable things, right? It really is on you. You want to have the ability to get curious about your role, to get curious about your growth and figure out how would I add more value? What would adding more value look like? What would it look like and what would I act like if I were an employee to add more value? And, same thing as a business owner, how could you add more value to your product or service? What would that look like? What would it act like? How would I act like as a business owner if I'm adding more value? How would that be reflected in my product or service? What kind of feature add-ons? What is the standard of my service? What is going to justify that I would charge more? A lot of business owners come and they just charge more because they think they're the shit. It's like, Okay, you're charging more because you think you can charge more? Because you think you can charge more? No, it's not enough to think that you're deserving of charging more. You actually got to add more value. So you got to look at the service that you're providing today and give it a legitimate score. Like, how are you scoring with your customer base? In fact, a really easy way to increase your price is simply ask your customer, what else would you like from us? How else could we service you? If you could have anything from our company, or we could add something to make your life easier, what would that be? Because your customers will give you the idea. And in fact, your customers' complaints, right, which a lot of business owners get very offended when people want to cancel or complain. But there's a story as to why people cancel. There's a story as to why they're, quote unquote, complaining or giving you this feedback. The feedback is there to help you improve your level of service so that you can actually justify what you're charging now and justify why you would charge more in the future. So I would listen to that feedback, and I would also do your market research. Anyway, so how do you make more money? What? Add more value. What does value mean? It's an addition. What would you add on? Now, in order to add, maybe you have to subtract something, right? In the case of employee, you'd have to subtract these tasks and add these more higher level tasks, right, that are going to add more value. As a business owner, maybe it is subtracting. Maybe you're subtracting a level of service or an add-on that really isn't doing much for your customer. Like, hey, if you sign up for X, you get A, B, C, and maybe C is like really not that valuable. So replace C, get rid of that, and put in something new. And now either charge the same or more. But the bottom line is, I think you're going to feel comfortable to charge more as a business owner when you know and you feel really good about your product or service. When you have that confidence, right? When you have the confidence, it's going to be a lot easier for you to charge more, especially if you're the type of person and business owner that over delivers. I always say, you know what? Never make a promise you can't deliver on, folks. Don't do it as a business owner. I promise you'll get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, U, W, X, Y, and Z. And then I only got A, B, and C. No, just tell me that I get A, B, and C, and then give me a couple of letters in the alphabet after that, and pleasantly surprise me. Add more value than what you're even charging, right? And the more that you do that, the more you can charge in the future. As always, thank you so much for listening. Let me know if you found this helpful, by the way, and feel free to disagree with me, as I know not everyone agrees with what I have to say, and that is A-okay.